In many American cities, you are more likely to see a building being demolished than a building being constructed. As noted by architect Keller Easterling, the major building project for most US mayors is the removal of building. The primary reason for this is the urban planning paradigm known as right-sizing. Right-sizing is a process through which cities strategically demolish buildings in order to better match the size of their current and projected population with the size of their built environment. It is a strategy increasingly employed by cities with declining populations in order to decrease the number of vacant buildings they have. In my thesis, I evaluate the effectiveness of right-sizing using Baltimore, Maryland as my case study. Now, proponents of right-sizing claim that this process creates opportunity for new development, can help decrease crime rates, and stimulates economic growth. But these claims are deceiving. Research shows that instead of revitalizing cities, right-sizing actually harms them. In the most comprehensive study done on right-sizing by Jason Hackworth at the University of Toronto, results showed that neighborhoods in 269 American cities that have lost over 50% of their housing through demolition have, over the course of 40 years, become poorer, less educated, more racially segregated, and actually have higher vacancy rates than they did in 1970. Far from stabilizing neighborhoods, right-sizing rattles them. Last year, the city of Baltimore announced Project Creating Opportunities for Renewal and Enterprise, or Project CORE, a plan to spend $96 million to demolish over 4,000 vacant properties. The majority of properties slated to be demolished are concentrated in predominantly low-income African-American neighborhoods, places like Sandtown, Winchester, seen in this image, where 1 in 3 people live in poverty. But if there's no evidence that right-sizing is a successful strategy, why do planners and politicians continually reiterate the falsehood that it will save our cities? Why do they keep proposing these multi-million-dollar farces? Because it's easy. They think that by tearing down run-down, dilapidated buildings, they will have solved all their problems. But removing so-called blighted properties does not improve the lives of neighborhood residents. It cannot solve the complex underlying urban problems that created the blight in the first place. Right-sizing gets it wrong. My thesis proposes that instead of destroying the historic urban fabric of Baltimore, we should preserve it for future generations. Instead of taking valuable resources from poor neighborhoods, we should give these communities greater control over what happens to them. Cities need to be pursuing more equitable and just solutions that benefit and include all communities, not only the privileged and the powerful. Right-sizing just doesn't fit. Thank you.